So, saving the best for last.
Best for last. Yes, ma'am.
My name is Gisela Triana, and I'm currently a justice on the Third Court of Appeals, but I'm running for the Supreme Court, the Texas Supreme Court here in Texas. I'm in Hays County. The Democrats in Hays County helped me get elected to the Third Court of Appeals. I'm very thankful for that. For the first time, we had a court of six Republican judges, and now we have 4 Democratic judges. And so we flipped that court around, and I'm very proud. And it couldn't have happened without the help of the folks here in Hays County. Thank you for inviting us to come and speak to you. As Judge Meacham said, judicial races are hard because they're not sexy races. We can't come up here like people that are running for Congress or for the House and tell you everything that we're going to do if we get elected. We can't talk about issues. The Judicial Code of Ethics prevents us from talking about how we're going to rule on cases. So we have to run basically on philosophy and hope that the people will get to know more about us. Right now, the Supreme Court, there's 9 members, all of them are Republican. One of the reasons that I'm running is to make sure that we have balance on that court. It has been, and we have always learned from our history classes, that we have 3 co-equal branches of government. We have the executive, we have the legislative, and we have the judicial. However, in Texas, our Supreme Court basically acts like an extension of the Republican Party. Of the 9 judges that we have there, 7 of them were appointed by either Governor Greg Abbott or Governor Rick Perry. So we claim that we elect our judges, except we have a system where the governor appoints our judges, and then the person, while they are sitting in that position, get to raise money from special interests that appear before them, and therefore run a race, what we call a race, and we pretend that we're actually electing our judges. But that is not what is happening. So it's very important to make sure, as judicial candidates, that we get the word out about who we are. So who am I? I have been a judge for over 24 years. I live in Travis County. I started off as a municipal court judge in the city of Austin, and I worked my way up. I became a justice of the peace in Travis County, and then I was a county court at law judge. And after that, I became a district judge and was a district judge for 14 years. After that, I was just elected, like I said, to the Court of Appeals. So if I'm elected, I will actually be the only person who's ever served on the Supreme Court that has ever served on every lower court in the state. And that is important because experience matters. I don't think that people should wake up one day and decide, you know what, I think today I'll run for president and become president. I think that actually you should work at your craft and you should do well at your craft. So I believe that I am the most qualified person that's running for this position. I started off as a prosecutor when I got out of law school. I went to UT School of Law, got out over 31 years ago. After becoming a prosecutor, I went to the Secretary of State's office in the election division and was a staff attorney there, and I went around the whole state of Texas teaching people, instructing them on how to conduct elections and interpreting the election code. After that, I started my own firm with another female attorney. We had a female-owned law firm called Hanco and Triana, and we did election law, we practiced family law, and we did criminal defense law. After I was appointed as municipal court, then I stopped doing criminal defense and just did family law, and also started doing some CPS work. I have served by serving on the Austin District Court and on the Court of Appeals, the Third Court of Appeals that sits in Austin. I have heard every single type of case that will be heard in the Supreme Court, that is heard in the Supreme Court. So therefore, I'm uniquely qualified. I'm the only person who has served in Travis County and who has done administrative cases. Those are the cases that somebody might bring against any state agency. Any case that deals with a Texas state agency. It could be the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality. It could be an environmental case. It could be a case that has Texas Health and Human Services. It could be a board action against a school or a teacher or a doctor. All of those cases come through Travis County and through the Third Court of Appeals, and I'm the only person who has the experience in those types of cases. I think that it is time for us to come together to turn Texas blue. 2 decades ago, when the Republicans started making inroads in Texas, it was through the Supreme Court. That's the first statewide elections that they won, and I think that we're going to follow them in that lead. And we're going to make sure that this year, the first statewide elections that we take back are going to be in the judicial arena. It's going to be in the Texas Supreme Court and the Court of Criminal Appeals. So I thank you so much for inviting me here. I thank you for your time. Please get involved. Please get to know your candidates. As you know, we don't have any straight party voting anymore. And so you need to make sure you vote in every race. Every race is important. From the bottom of the ballot, you know, with our constables, to all the way to the top to our presidential candidate. So make sure you vote in all your races. A lot of the counties out there have new voting machines, so be patient. Vote early so you're not worried about long lines. Make sure you have time to vote, and make sure that you vote for everybody, because your vote matters. Once again, my name is Gisela Triana, and my website is www.judgetriana.com. Please go and visit. There's plenty of information there about me. You can sign up as a supporter or give me money if you'd like. Thank you very much, and have a good night.